What's going on, y'all? So today we're gonna be staining the stand, and we got a couple of tools out here. We got a sander, some sandpaper, the actual stain finish, and these spun brushes. I've never used these before, so we're gonna see how that goes. But after this, we will be de-rimming the 29 gallon, and hopefully it doesn't break or leak or anything like that. But let's get to it, y'all. Alright, so I don't know orbital sander or anything like that, but I have this, I guess what they call a multi-tool from Milwaukee. Really fucking loud, but I gotta work with what I got, and I have to sand this by hand. Might be a pain in the ass, but this will definitely speed up the process, so let's start it. Alright guys, so I messed up. Thought I hit record, didn't, missed out on a little talk we had, but pretty much to go over what I had said, we went ahead and finished sanding it. Not perfect, but it'll do. This top, not really too worried about staining the top or anything of that sort, so that's why I didn't really sand it too much, because there's going to be a neoprene pad on top of it, so for self-leveling, obviously it's going to be a frameless tank. But pretty much this is how it's going so far. This foam brush, it's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. It actually covers a lot, but I feel like maybe I messed up a bit because I might have soaked it a little too much, so it's sort of applying pretty thick. I guess that doesn't really matter. I went ahead and put that plywood down to try to catch any droplets, but like I said, it soaked up quite a bit, so I spilled a little bit of it, but I'm not too worried about it. But here's pretty much the front face. It's looking pretty decent so far. Well, let's go ahead and finish staining it. Alright guys, so we pretty much got most of it stained. It's coming out pretty decent, to me at least. But I said I wasn't gonna worry about the top, but might as well go ahead and stain it. I mean, we have plenty. That is that, guys. We're pretty much done staining the entire stand. I think it came out, like I said, came out pretty decent. Ignore the white. But yeah, it came out pretty decent. Good for my house, at least. Like I said, I am not no professional. I'm just doing things as I go. But next thing's next, the 29 gallon. All right, y'all. It's been I think it's been about a month since I actually stained the stand. It's actually just been sitting here. But we're gonna finally actually go ahead and actually de-rim the tank. Finally done. So this is the 29 gallon, 30 gallon. So we're gonna de-rim. Real dirty, but we're gonna get it cleaned up afterwards. I don't really have the tools that I used to have, so we're gonna try to make it work. I think I'm gonna get a saw blade and maybe kind of like saw this, and from there you could kind of get a what do you call those things? You know, those things that you use to spread mud, or not mud, but that mud for the sheetrock. So we're probably gonna take that spatula thing and pretty much kind of pry up on it and actually kind of run along the edge and kind of get the silicone off this. And hopefully, like I said, we don't break it, but let's go ahead and try it. Alright, tell you the truth, I cannot find that spatula thing. We're gonna try to make it work. But we're gonna go ahead and start with this. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Yeah. Alright, this ain't working. Alright, I found it. So, if you have this tool, this is gonna help a lot. And hopefully you don't scratch the tank, but you just gotta really be careful and make sure this thing is clean. So no debris like on this flat part, like actually rub against the glass. So let's for real get started. Hopefully we don't scratch this tank. But what you're gonna go ahead and do is try to, like I said, try to be extra careful. Kind of like run it all the way down without scratching the tank. I don't know if this is the right thing, the right way to do it, but I did it this way last time and we had success. So let's continue on. It's gonna be pretty tough, but I can feel the silicone peeling out. Like I said, you really want to be careful, and hopefully this ain't a fail. But yeah, so keep going. So basically what I've done was kind of create like a little notch in it to pretty much make it easier to break. I've already ran the spatula pretty much all around the edges. It's pretty tough, but let's see if we can actually break the bezel off. And once you break the bezel off, you can go ahead and clean it up with a razor blade, all this excess silicone. So let's see if we can. All right, I found some scissors. So pretty much right there where I took out most of the silicone, you get those scissors. And like I said, it's still gonna be a little tough, but whatever helps. So kind of go up and kind of cut that bezel. I'm doing a janky ass job, so this isn't no professional stuff. Just working with what I got. So went ahead and did that. Let's see if I can kind of pry it off now. There we go. Kind of looks something like that. Once you're able to break off a piece, it should get easier. Should. While I scratch the tip of the blade. From there, you can pull back. If it's too hard and you feel like you're gonna break it, just run the spatula again. The bezel should just pretty much come off. Actually looks pretty nice. Take your time, no rush. If you rush through it, you actually might mess it up, so. Boom. Top is delidded. As you can see, there's not really any scratches. Like the tank is really dirty, but what all this is silicone. So like I said, you can take a razor to it and gently scrape it all the way down. Don't scrape too hard because you might scratch the glass. I did that on my last tank, so I learned. You can gently scrape it. Don't apply too much pressure. But if you go ahead and do that all the way around, it should be good. And that looks a lot cleaner. But I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much scrape up. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do the bottom piece now. I do recommend if you are gonna delid an aquarium, or if you have an aquarium that's bezel-less, to purchase one of these neoprene mats. It's self-leveling and it kind of takes all the, it makes it even basically. So not too much weight is on one corner or something of that sort, you know. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing. I think there's a bit more silicone in this bottom piece, so it might be a little bit harder. But I forgot to mention too, when you're shoving that spatula in there, I kind of pull it away so it's not directly sliding on the glass. I really don't know how to explain it, but if you're pulling away, you got less of a chance of scratching the actual glass. Actually, I think it's less silicone in this bottom piece. It looks like the silicone's gonna be more on the actual bottom and not on the side of the tank. It sounds like it's getting right off. So you can kind of like scrape a little bit under there, and as soon as you get it under, you should be able to just push right through it. Give you a better look at what I'm doing. But like I said, if you kind of give it a little scrape, and if you can get right under there, like so, it should be able to scrape all the way down. Pretty much like that. bottom is definitely easier than the top. You don't even have to break the bezel. Thank you, Flazna, for assembling this tank. What you're left with after you take the bezel off is the same silicone, pretty much. Just scrape it off with the razor blade. Try to be careful, extra careful. And I cracked the tank right here. I don't think it's such a big deal. Also, keep in mind, once you de-bezel the tank, you want to do a 24-hour leak test. So that consists of just filling up the tank and seeing if you lose any water or if you see any water on the floor. All right, my phone died while I was showing you guys that. And I also cut myself on one of the corners. So there's a couple of cracks, definitely. I'm not too worried about it. If it starts leaking, just slap a little bit of silicone in there. But these aren't major fractures or cracks or anything like that I'm worried about. So we're just gonna keep pushing on. But we pretty much got the bezel off. Now the last step is to take a razor blade and take all the excess silicone off. It doesn't have to be perfect, I guess, on the bottom because nobody's never see that. But unless you're a perfectionist, then go right ahead. I'm not judging. Just saying that it's not that important, you know. You do want to get the big clumps of aluminum. That's something that'll make the tank unleveled. So that's definitely something you do want to take off. All right, so like I said, it's not perfect, but we went ahead and took off most of the silicone. I'm trying to think of a way if there's actual like if I use bleach or something, or I have no idea, but maybe I'll figure out some way. If not, I'm not too mad about the way it came out. I mean, it looks pretty decent to me, especially if I clean it up. I'm gonna go ahead and do another clip of us cleaning this tank and polishing it up with my secret weapon right here, Barkeeper's Friend. This works. If you take a wet sponge, put some of that Barkeeper's Friend on there and give it a light scrubbing, man, does it polish this tank. You guys will definitely see those results in a little bit. I recommend using distilled water so it doesn't leave hard water stains. Here where I live, we have pretty hard water, but we're gonna make it work. So let me go ahead and show you guys me cleaning that tank up and the finished product pretty much. All right, guys, she's looking very, very clean. Complete transformation compared to earlier. Like I said, Barkeeper's Friend, man, that's the one right there. You would pretty much just, you know, wet the tank a bit, put a good amount of that. I'll show you guys. Kind of wet it up as well, and just give it a little scrub, man. And man, the transformation is awesome. This tank came out pretty decent. Next step we have to do is a leak test. So we're gonna go ahead and fill it pretty much to the brim and see if we leak any water. Focus. But I'm pretty happy the way it came out. Very, very clean, very nice. All right, guys, starting to fill her up. Thought I got most of it, but there's a couple of hard water stains here and there. But I'll just, after this leak test, if everything's good, I'll go ahead and scrub her down again. Maybe with something just a little bit more abrasive, nothing too crazy so it doesn't scratch the glass. But so far, it looks like we're doing pretty good. No dripping yet, but you want to give it some time, man. So what I typically recommend is go ahead and fill her all the way up to the top and let her sit for 24 hours. And hopefully you don't got a big old mess in the garage. So we'll get back to it after 24 hours and hopefully everything's good. All right, guys, it's been 24 hours and no leaks, guys. No leaks. Awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and continue with this build in another video. Hopefully get all that situated. It's gonna be a shrimp tank, I believe. So we're gonna see how it all turns out. But I appreciate you guys watching, and then just like and subscribe, I guess. Thank you guys so much. Peace.